Well, that was an interesting game. I want to congratulate the Milwaukee Bucks for getting the Game 3 victory in Atlanta. They take a 2-1 lead in the series. Game 4 is going to be in Atlanta, so we'll see if the Hawks will be able to tie. Now, hold on for a second. Time out. Chainsaw Man has an anime now? Oh, snap. The trailer dropped today? I'm going to have to watch this. I'm Team Power all day. You know I got to... let me put this down. I'll get back to that later. Y'all know nothing about Chainsaw Man. Yeah, congratulations to the Milwaukee Bucks for getting the Game 3 victory. As I said, Game 4 will be in Atlanta. We'll see if the Hawks are able to tie the series up at 2 apiece. This was a very interesting game. It's going to be a game we're definitely going to talk about. You're definitely going to hear the media talk about this tomorrow because of what happened with Trey Young. So the Hawks came out in Game 3, and they had a 15-point lead. They immediately took control. They took the lead early on. They were doing their thing, and they got a lead as big as 15. But the Milwaukee Bucks, they fought back. They did what they needed to do to close the gap. And by halftime, the game was pretty much tied. And at that point, we knew we were in for a great matchup. Trey Young tonight was fantastic. 35 points. He was doing his thing up until he suffered the injury, which we'll talk about. Let's start with the Bucks first. My God, Khris Middleton took this game over. First of all, Giannis, 33 points. He did his thing. Giannis was Giannis. We expect Giannis to play to this level. He's playing the way he has to play to. He's playing the way we expect him to play, so we're not surprised to see him put up 33 points. Jrue Holiday was terrible today. He's been very inconsistent, and again, you're going to need him to give you some level of production, but he's not the main guy. He's not the second best player. The second best player of this team showed up, and he's also their closer. Khris Middleton took this game over in the fourth quarter and outscored the Atlanta Hawks by himself, 20-17. He outscored the entire Hawks team by himself in the fourth quarter. It's like he got to the fourth quarter and said, we're not losing tonight. I'm going to take this game over. He hit like 3 straight threes. The man was on fire. He couldn't miss. This guy took the game over. This is what we need to see from Middleton. He has to consistently show up like this and play this way if the Bucks are going to win the championship. You can't get inconsistency. One game, he's balling out, putting up 30 points. Next game, he's like 6 of 23 from the field. You can't have that. Middleton needs to consistently show up. He's the second best player on this team. You need him to show up. And he showed up tonight, and he closed this game. Give credit to Milwaukee's defense because down the stretch, they played great defense against the Hawks, especially in that fourth quarter. They did what they needed to do to frustrate this Hawks team, and ultimately, it was the main reason they were able to get this win. So congratulations to them. Again, Jrue Holiday did not play well offensively in terms of scoring. However, he did have, I believe, 12 assists in this game. He was distributing the build. He was just what am I talking about? He was making plays defensively, which honestly, especially in that fourth quarter, his defense came up clutch for them. But he was also doing a great job setting up his teammates. A lot of great passes in the passing lanes, a lot of great passes setting these guys up for good looks. Jrue Holiday was doing what he needed to do. When he wasn't scoring, despite the fact he just couldn't hit shots tonight, when he wasn't scoring, he was setting up his teammates with great passes, and he was playing great defense, especially in that fourth quarter. So he didn't score well today, but he did do great things in other aspects of the game. So good on him. Because, man, he was really doing his thing defensively in that fourth quarter, and that was a difference maker, so credit to him. But yeah, we need Jrue Holiday to do a little bit better scoring-wise. However, I'm not mad at him scoring poorly tonight because he played well defensively, which was a difference maker, and he did well in setting his teammates up. So he was doing well in the playmaking aspect, so good on him for that. But yeah, we need him to be a little bit more consistent scoring-wise. But hey, if Middleton's going to drop 38 points, you're going to take that. So yeah, congrats to the Bucks. They did what they needed to do to get this job done. And at the end of the day, they take a 2-1 lead and they reclaim home court advantage. Because again, the Hawks went and stole game 1 on the Bucks home court. Now they reclaim it here on the road. And now at this point, the Bucks, they've regained control of this series. Now they're up 2-1. We'll see how the Hawks react. Speaking of the Hawks, how'd this game go for them? Well, they had control of the game, In the first quarter, the Bucks started to fight back, and at that point, it became a true battle in the second half. Now, I'll give credit to this for the Bucks. They're starting to attack the paint more. Specifically, Giannis. He's starting to attack the paint a lot more than the way they were doing before. Because Giannis was still taking threes. He took, like, I believe, 3 threes in this game. However, he has decided to attack the basket. Same for Jrue Holiday. Same for Khris Middleton. They're attacking the basket a lot more than they were doing before. They're still shooting threes, which, again, I don't like seeing the Bucks shoot threes. But, it's just what they do. They're attacking the basket more, so that's one positive there. So I got to give them credit for that. And that was a big part of what helped them get back in this game. And that was also the difference maker down the stretch for them, attacking the basket. So yeah, Atlanta went on this huge lead to start the game. The Bucks cut it down, and then, it was a battle from there. We get into the second half. Trey Young is doing his thing, and it looks like the Hawks are going to have an opportunity to potentially take control of this. It's a back and forth affair, but the Hawks were right there. Trey Young was playing well. He was balling out. I think he was like, 4 of 9 or 5 of 9 from threes. He was hitting threes tonight. For some reason, they left him open on 2 or 3 3-point attempts, and he knocked all of them down. I don't know what the Bucks were doing in terms of leaving him open. Yes, I told you guys you don't want him to drive, so you want to leave him out on the perimeter. But I didn't say leave him wide open. So yeah, there was a couple of breakdowns on defense for the Bucks there. But that was in the third quarter. Trey Young was able to capitalize by hitting those threes. And again, it was helping with the Hawks in trying to take control of the game. All was going well for the Hawks until towards the end of the third quarter, where Trey Young, he loses the ball and he's getting ready to go back on defense. And he steps back. And he steps his right foot out of bounds, and he ends up stepping on the foot of the ref that was standing there. And he ended up tweaking his ankle. He tweaked his ankle. He had to leave the game. He went back into the locker room. They did whatever they needed to do there. Maybe they wanted to go tape up his ankle some more. He did a couple exercises there to see how comfortable he'll feel with the ankle, and then he came back out. He was still doing a couple of those just to see how he'll feel, to put weight on that ankle and to see if he can come back in the game. Man, Trey Young came back in the game. He had 1 3, and that was it. You can clearly tell this man was not the same. He was hobbling for the rest of the game. He didn't really want the ball. He tried to drive at one point, and you could just tell he was in pain. He couldn't finish. It was way short. He pulled up for a wide open 3 and he missed that one. So it was just like there was nothing there. Trey Young suffering that injury killed all the momentum for the Hawks. At that point, the Hawks struggled. That was at the end of the third quarter. So going into the fourth quarter with Trey Young not on the court, they started to struggle. It just wasn't there. Nobody could score. Nobody can get anything on offense. They started turning the ball over more. Trey Young came back onto the court. He hit that 3, and at that point, it was just like there was nothing else. The Bucks were just struggling to get points. And at the same time, while they're struggling to get points, Khris Middleton's going off and hitting 3 after 3 after 3. Like, he's just hitting shots. He literally outscored the entire Hawks team in the fourth quarter. Middleton had 20. The Hawks had 17. What are you going to do there? What are you going to do? That was tough. That was really the difference maker there. Just 3 aspects there. First of all, the Bucks defense, the intensity of their defense improved. It rose dramatically in the fourth quarter, and it improved tremendously in the fourth quarter. They were a lot more aggressive. Once Trey Young was just out, they were a lot more aggressive. And once they saw Trey Young come back on the court and he was hobbling, they were still aggressive in making sure they were not going to let this man get any space to pull up for 3. If he was going to do anything, he would have to drive. And knowing that his ankle was not going to be able to hold up, they knew they had him there. So they became a lot more aggressive defensively. The Hawks themselves couldn't get anything going offensively because Trey Young just couldn't do anything at that point after his ankle was just done. And most importantly, Khris Middleton just went off. And the same thing for Giannis. Giannis didn't go off the way Khris Middleton did, but Giannis hit a couple of really clutch shots. He had a couple of good shots, man. He was posting up, and he was hitting some nice shots. So credit to Giannis for that. But Khris Middleton is the one that closed this game ultimately, and he's the main reason they're up 2-1 in this series. So, yeah. We don't exactly know how severe this ankle injury is going to be for Trey Young. We'll see what happens with that. But if this becomes a nuisance for him throughout this series, the Hawks could be in trouble. They're going to be looking to tie this series up in game 4, and we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, they probably feel like this is a game they really could have won. They probably most likely should have won because of the momentum they had in that third quarter. But at the end of the day, once Trey Young got injured, that momentum was dead. Khris Middleton came into the fourth quarter ready to end this game, and he proceeded to end this game by himself. So there was nothing the Hawks could do there. They just couldn't do anything offensively. So we'll see what happens regarding Trey Young. We'll see what happens with the ankle, and we'll see how it affects him moving forward in this series. But yeah, Bucks get the win here. They're up 2-1 in the series, and we'll see what happens in game 4. With that being said, that is all I got, and I'm out of here. This was such a mess. I was not focused. I was too busy thinking of Chainsaw Man. That threw me off. But yeah, I'm out of here, man. Peace.